Now, in our second topic of geometry that talks about collinear and coplanar points, together with relationship of your points, line and plane. So before we are going to discuss more about this topic, we will first discuss the objectives for today's lesson. First, you need to define collinear and non-collinear points. Second, you need to illustrate the relationship of your point, line, and plane. That in our previous topic, we talked about the point, the line, and the plane. In naming of a point, it should be in a capital letter. In naming of a line, you can use a small script letter or you can use the 2 points in a given line. You need to have at least 2 points to make a line. Then, in naming of a plane, you can also choose any of this one. You can use 3 points, the non-collinear points in your plane, and also you can use the 4 points in your plane, or you may use the one capital letter in your given plane. So this time we're going to have an activity. A points, that is point A, point B, point C, point D, point E, and point F. Okay, have to do is to answer it true or false. Point A and point B and point D forms a straight line. 2. Point A and point D within the line AD. Your point A and your point D is within your line AD. Number 3. Point A and point B and point D is in the plane CFE. Point A, point B, and point D is in a plane CFE. Next, number 4. Point E, point D, point R. I have here a point R. Point E, point D, and point R are in plane CFE. Next, point D, point A, and point B are in plane CFE. I'll give you 1 minute to answer the following questions. Just write true or false. Okay, hope you are done. Let's try to check your answer. Try to check if it is correct. Your point A, your point B, and your point D form a straight line. Of course, it is false. So the straight line is here, so we have B here. Number 2, your point A lie in line AD. Your point A lie in line AD. Of course, it is true. Number 3, your point A, your point B, your point D lie on plane CFE. So remember that we can name 3 points in a given plane. So we have here your plane CFE. Number 4, your point E, your point D, your point R lie in plane CFE. True or false? The answer is false. Number 5, your point D, your point A, and your point B lie in a plane CFE. The answer is true. Let's proceed to our other activity. I have here the I have here a plane together with a point and a line. All you have to do is to write your notebook na lang. You're going to write your answer in your notebook. You're going to use the illustration given in order for you to answer the following needed in your activity, which is you need to write. Write me. Okay, number 1. Name 3 points that forms a straight line. You are going to name 3 points that if you are going to connect, it forms a straight line. Number 2, name 3 points that does not form a line but inside the plane. Name 3 points that does not form a line but inside the plane. Number 3, name 3 points inside the plane. You are going to give me 3 points inside the plane. Number 4, name 3 points inside that includes in and outside the plane. Or you are going to give me a points that is located inside your plane together with the point or points located outside your plane. Just give me 3 combination of points. I'll give you another minute to answer the following activity. Your time starts now. Okay, so let's try to answer the following activity. Okay, for your activity, write me. Name 3 points that form a straight line. As you can see, I have here 3 points, given 3 points. That is point D, point E, and point F. If you are going to connect the 3 points, that will make a straight line. Number 2, name 3 points that does not form a line but inside the plane. Okay, we have here, so we have a lot of answer in here. Example here, we have point D, point E, and point G are a point located inside your plane but does not form a straight line. Another one, we have point D, point F. Point G is also a points inside your plane but does not form a straight line. We have point G, point E, and point F is also a points that does not form a straight line but inside your plane. Okay, let's proceed to number 3. Write 3 points inside the plane. Okay, so it is not necessary that you are going to write it if it is a straight line or anything. Just write 3 points that inside the plane. So example, we have point D, point E, point G. We have also point D, point F, point G. We have also point G, point E, point F. We have also point D, point E, point F. So you may use any of those combinations of points. Remember that I just need 3 points that is located inside your plane. Okay, number 4. Name 3 points inside that includes in and outside the plane. So you need to name a combination of a points located inside this plane. Then you are going to include the point H, which is outside your plane. We have point D, point E, point H. We have also point F, point H, and we have point D. We have also point H, point E, point F, and more. As long as you are going to include the H in this given activity. Okay, we will now proceed to definition. Okay, what is this collinear points? In your activity, let you identify the points inside the plane where lie a straight line. When we say collinear points, are points that lie on the same line. Okay, so I have here an example. we have this point A and point B. If you are going to connect the 2 points, it will form a line. Of course, your point A and your point D are collinear points. It form a straight line. Okay, remember that one. When we say collinear, it is a points that form a straight line. Okay, next. We have here non-collinear points. If when we say collinear, it forms a straight line, but when we say non-collinear, are points that do not lie in the same line, but inside your plane. Okay, example. We have this point A, point C, and point D. These 3 points are points located inside your plane but does not form a straight line. Okay. So coplanar points are points that lie in the same plane. Okay. In this given example, I have here this one. So all points that you are going to put here in this plane are all coplanar points. Example, here we have point A, point C, point D are coplanar points. Or you can write point A, point D are coplanar points. Or you can also write point C and point D are also coplanar points. Remember that coplanar points are points located inside your plane. Now, if you are going to talk about the non-coplanar points, ibig sabihin, ito yung mga points na makikita natin sa loob ng ating plane at may isa pa tayong point na i-include doon sa labas. Or from one plane going to another plane. Kailangan natin pagsabayin sila. So, ibig sabihin that is non-coplanar points. Given example here, we have point A, point D, and point H are non-coplanar points. Ibig sabihin, this point, 2 points, your point A and point D is inside this given plane plus your 1 point outside your given plane. We can also name point A, point C, and point H as long as you are going to include at least 1 point outside your plane, and that is non-coplanar points. Ang kaibahan ng ating coplanar at saka ng ating collinear ay yung collinear natin, ibig sabihin we are talking about the point into your line. Doon sa loob ng line. When we're going to talk about coplanar, yung points na makikita natin sa loob ng ating plane. At ang kaibahan naman ng non-collinear at non-coplanar, when we say non-collinear, ibig sabihin yung point na nasa line at outside the line provided nasa loob siya ng ating plane. At ng non-coplanar naman, ito yung mga points na makikita natin na nasa plane at nasa labas ng ating plane. So, wag tayong malito pag sinasabi nating coplanar points and collinear points. Okay, so we will talk on with this one. A relationship. When we say intersection class, it is a set of all points that are common to the given figure. Ibig sabihin, yung point na nasa kanya, nasa isang line, together with nasa pangalawang line, yung makikita natin yung common nila. Okay, ano yung ibig sabihin? Nasa kanya at nasa sayo. Ibig sabihin, magkapareho kayo. So, dito sa ating line, in this line A here, if you can see, your line A and your line B intersect at point O. Ibig sabihin, si line A may point na O at si line B may point na O. Kung sa Bisaya pa, giabutan nila. Ang kanang giabutan nila is what we call the point of intersection, which is your point O. Okay, now, in that given plane, here, in this given plane P and this given plane Q, imagine ninyo yung papel. Dalawang papel na pagdurugtungin mo yan siya. Hatiin mo na sa gitna. Tapos, idikit mo siya doon sa gitna. So, ibig sabihin, may line na nabuo dyan. Okay. At yung line na nabuo dyan, tinatawag yan siya ng intersection. It is not necessary that your intersection will focus in a point. But also, it could include a line. So, pag i-overlap mo yung dalawang papel, magkaroon yan siya ng intersection, which is example here. I have here an example. Your plane P and your plane Q intersect at your line XY. And your line XY is what we call the intersection of a line or intersecting lines. Okay, so when we say intersection, ibig sabihin yung common, makikita natin sa point, sa line ng isa at sa line ng pangalawa. Or sa plane ng isa na nasa plane ng pangalawa. Okay, now, when we say parallel line, ibig sabihin ito yung two coplanar lines that do not intersect each other. Kumbaga, ito yung sa crush pa na nato, magsigi ka lang og ibog-ibog sa iyaha, but never na maging kayo. So, ibig sabihin, parallel lines, hindi kayo mag-intersect. Just because wala kayong common points. And that is what we call the parallel lines. Two coplanar lines that do not intersect each other. They don't have any common points. Okay, like an example, your line A and your line B are parallel lines. Together with your line AB and your line CD is also a parallel lines. Okay, let's try to answer this one. In a piece of your notebook, you are going to answer. Let's try determine whether each of the following is true or false. Number one, point C, point J, and point E are non-collinear points. Point C, point J, and point E are non-collinear points. Point C, point A, point O, point B, this one, and point D, this one, are coplanar points. Number 3, point E, point P, point O, point D, and point F, where's the point F here, this one, are non-collinear points. Your line Z, this one, and your line Y, this one, intersect at point O. Number 5, your point D, your point B, your point P are non-collinear points. Number 6, your line segment FP, your line segment FP and your line segment AD are parallel lines. Number 7, your point D, your point P, your point F, your point A, and your point J are non-coplanar points. I will give you 5 minutes. Sige. I will give you 3 minutes for you to answer the following questions in your notebook. Together with, if it is possible, try to correct. If it is false, try to correct what would be the correct term that you are going to use in the given points, combination of points. Okay, we will answer now your activity. Your let's try. Okay, so we have here number 1. Your point C, your point J, and your point E are non-collinear points. Okay, of course, it is false because as you can see, it forms a line. If you are going to connect, it forms a straight line. Therefore, when we talk about straight line, then we are going to talk about collinear points. So the correct statement there, your point C, your point J, and your point E are collinear points. Now, number 2, your point C, your point A, this one. Your point C, your point A, your point O, your point B, this one. And your point D, this one. Okay. So, as you can see, if you are going to connect, it will form a plane. Together with your point D, this one. Okay. Your point C, I will repeat ha. Your point C, your point A, your point O, your point B, and your point D, it forms a plane. Together with your point C. Ibig sabihin, they are non-coplanar points. Kasi, yung apat na points are located in one plane together with one outside your plane. So, ibig sabihin, they are non-coplanar. And the statement here is coplanar, therefore that is false. Number 3 tayo. Your point E, this one, your point P, your point B, and your point D, together with your point F, are non-collinear points. So, from the statement alone collinear, since we are talking about the plane, it is very false. Since we are talking about the plane, 4 points inside your plane plus outside, therefore, the answer is non-coplanar points. Okay. Next, number 4 tayo. Your line Z and your line Y, this one. At point O, intersect at your point O. So, if you are going to extend this one, may go ang point O. If you are going to extend also this one, mag-abot sila sa point O. So, therefore, the statement is true. Okay, number 5. Your point B, your point B, your point P are non-collinear points. Okay, as you can see, it does not form a straight line, so the statement is true. So, number 6 tayo. Your line segment FB, this one. Your line segment FP and your line segment AD are parallel lines. Of course, they are parallel lines. They do not intersect each other. Okay, your point D, your point P, your point F, your point A, and your point J are non-coplanar points. Of course, we are talking about the plane in points inside your plane plus outside. So we are talking about non-coplanar points. Okay? So hope you got 7 out from the given example. So this time, test yourself tayo. Okay. For the test yourself, you are going to give me the illustration or you are going to illustrate the points that was being asked in the given. Okay. So same instruction. You are going to write this one, answer, and post your answer or submit or PM your answer to me in order for me to check your work. So number 1, you need to draw a coplanar points label with point A, B, C, and D. Number 2, make a non-collinear points and name it using A, B, and C. When we write A, B, and C, which is big letter, ibig sabihin we're talking about the points. Okay. Number 3, make a line D and a line F that intersect at point L. Number 4, make a non-coplanar points and label this one as point Q, point R, point S, and point, oh no, nag-redundant ang point R. So, isa lang. Okay, point Q, point R, and point S. Number 5, make a collinear points. Collinear points. Make a collinear points label with point J, point A, point P, point S. Okay, I am waiting for your answer and please don't hesitate to pass your answer to me this night until this time only. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope you learned something with our discussion today. I am looking forward for your answer and hope you are safe. Goodbye everyone and thank you for listening.